How you doing, YouTube? My name is Brainsmasher, coming at you from the studio. Can you believe it? I'm on my feet. I'm off my duff. Sorry if you have to enjoy my girth as I stand before the altar of metal. Got a couple of albums to review for you today. It feels so weird to be standing up and vigored and whatnot, so I'll try not to be too hyper. First things first, Mark Shelton, cheers. Fuck. They're all gonna die. Every single one of these people is gonna die eventually. I'm gonna have to get used to that. So, a couple months ago, Taken from Black Devastation Records sent me a bunch of goodies, and I promised to review most or all of them, 3 at a time. So we're gonna be doing 3 of those albums tonight. Trying to think if there's any other house cleaning to do before we get into it. We'll start, because we're listening to it behind me, with Wald Geist Winter, German black metal band. So, one thing I guess you should know about Black Devastation Records, and by the way, I'll link to my previous Black Devastation video in the description so you can re-familiarize yourself if you should need. But Taken runs label Black Devastation, and he is in a lot of those bands that are on his label, including this one, as well as stuff like Oyast, Odal, Nipahalen, tons of others I can't even think of, but 2 of these that we're going to talk about he's in, and it's great stuff. So, Wald Geist Winter, honestly, really is nothing all that groundbreaking, and that's kind of what I like about it, and that seems to be kind of the signature style of Black Devastation's releases. There's really nothing all that unique or groundbreaking. Other than a couple of like Rusting Sun was pretty unique, but it still had its feet pretty firmly planted in being iconic German black metal that's raw, nasty, melancholic, not all that fast, not all that melodic, not all that grim, just sounds distinctly German and just really well written. And so that's really the signature of Wald Geist Winter. This album is called Teufelsdreisse. And I'm going to give up on giving you the exact year that each one of these came out. They're not really new releases by any means. So I'm going to say between 2004 and 2010 or so, all these came out. You should be able to pick up all these on blackdevastation.de should you wish to do so. So that's that 12-inch black vinyl. Comes with a little poster. And you can pretty much hear it. Hopefully you can hear it pretty well behind me. This new phone setup has pretty good sound, so I'm still kind of working out the kinks with how I want to use that. Not sure if this angle is going to be permanent or whatever, so I'm just trying it out, seeing what I think for now. Next, we're going to talk about Arfsynd. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. This is a Swedish band. And this is a solo project of the guy from Grift. You might know Grift. This album is goddamn phenomenal and seems to be making a lot of waves over in Europe. So this is, I was actually really surprised to find that this is actually him. I was listening to this and I just kept thinking, God, where do I know that voice from? I know this sound. He's got a lot of personality to both Grift and this Arfsynd album, which is the debut LP. So I think it's self-titled. It's got it's like 6 songs on it. It's really like mid-paced. It's got a lot of really like melancholic sort of guitar harmonies that, I don't know, usually that kind of thing sounds either Swedish or it sounds distinctly Norwegian to me, but honestly this, I think it's kind of hard to nail down exactly what it sounds like origin-wise, even though it is Swedish. So it kind of runs the gamut of styles there. What I was really impressed with was the mastering job, and then when I looked to see who mastered it, this is one of my favorite studios, Necromorbis. mastered it. Now he was the original drummer of Watain, and he mixed all of their albums up through Lawless Darkness, and I think those albums sound phenomenal. And he's also in a project Chaos Omen, which is really good. Heresy is another one that's really awesome. I looked at this picture and I just tried to picture the dude from Grift being that guy. It's just kind of hard to imagine that he has this Grift stuff is so kind of emotive and personal and candid in a way, and so to hear him do something that's so much more traditional and just cloaked in darkness and monochromatic, it just seems so like uncharismatic of the Grift character or artist that I know. Black vinyl. So this is really good stuff. I'm probably gonna seek down the other full-length record that he put out. So yeah, that is Arfsynd. Oh, by the way, Marty, yeah, no pants. Hope you like it. So this is a unique split release between Ugluk. Anyway, so Ugluk and Barastir. This is a weird split because the Ugluk side was a demo recorded in 1994, and Barastir, this material was recorded 2008, I want to say, not long before this was released. So you got kind of differing styles here. I was actually surprised when I flipped it over to the Ugluk side to hear how different the style was from the Barastir. Now let's get down to business, if I can stop sneezing for once. Okay, the Ugluk side is really interesting. At first it came off as kind of generic and primitive sounding until I realized that it came out in 1994 and it made sense. Then the keyboards came in and it sounded like, not unlike, Emperor's In the Night Side Eclipse. Now I know Emperor, I'm guilty of the same thing, is referenced in comparison in so many different things. And I feel like a lot of bands even like yearn for sounding like Emperor just to borrow some of that notoriety from the band. But let's see here if I can find it real quick. I thought the Ugluk material reminded me quite a bit of this brilliant album by Von Noor, which is a German band. I haven't looked yet to see where Ugluk is from, but not all that important. It's pretty good stuff. Like I said, it's primitive, of course, because it was recorded in '94, but I think really where it shines is what it lacks. It isn't trying to be modern. It isn't trying to be anything beyond really 1994. And for that time period, there were a lot of new paths being trodden at that time. So it's kind of a charming thing. I'm glad to have it on here. I would have never heard it had Taken not sent me this LP, I'm sure. Now, the other side, Barastir, is a little more generic. Sounds quite a bit more like the Wald Geist Winter, which makes sense because Taken is in both of those projects. So it sounds like German black metal with those sort of mid-paced harmonic guitars where I feel like the signature sound of German black metal, guitar-wise anyways, is where they'll write a sort of melodic riff and then harmonize it with a riff that's just like one octave higher, just a slightly little bit higher, so that it adds like this tension to it, which is just a technique that tons and tons of bands have used. But to me, that's just like German black metal to the fucking T. So yeah, those three releases you can get from Black Devastation. Thanks for watching me. We'll see you next time. Let me know what you think of the albums I reviewed and the new Angle. We'll see you next time. Thanks.